Good afternoon and welcome to the meditation session. The title of the session is A Point of Life. We can understand the point of life collectively or individually. At the collective level, the society can suggest what is the meaning of life, and they will do that based on their objectives, based on a limited vision, limited knowledge. In the era of post-truth, information is limited, and they may offer a vision that is not realistic. It may not be true. It may not be practical or useful. They may want you to buy into it, to vote for it, to support it. From the spiritual perspective, the meaning of life can be understood at the individual level by understanding ourselves and by having a good relationship with ourselves. If I am true to myself, I can understand myself in the present, can also make sense of what life is. To do that, we have a voice of conscience, which is telling us what is right and what is wrong, what is real and what is false, what is accepted and what is not permitted. When we listen to the voice of conscience, it becomes strong and it becomes a good friend. If we don't listen to it, it will stop speaking to ourselves, and I will lose a friend. I will have to rely on someone else telling me what is good and what is wrong and what is life and what is the point of life. To make the voice of conscience strong and powerful, we want to come into the position of the living, conscious, tiny, real self. From this position of the real self, I can understand mind, world, relationships. I can be true to myself. I can understand life, humanity, can make sense of my past and present and future. And from this position, I can stick to my principles, whether others like you or dislike you, whether they approve you or reject you, whether they praise you or criticize you. You are able to be true to what you believe in. You are able to believe in your principles, and you are able to figure it out, what life really means to you, and to make sense of this point of life. So let us come into the position of the true self during these few minutes of meditation. We make sure the body is feeling comfortable and relaxed. We are breathing in a natural way, normal breathing. We can keep the eyes open. We use the mind and the intellect to come into the position of the living, conscious, tiny self. Normally, the mind would be used to perceive the material reality. During these minutes, mind is used to perceive the living, conscious, tiny self. We are not looking at what happened throughout the day, or what we would like to do next. We can leave aside impressions from the day, any desires, plans. During these minutes, the mind is only looking at the true self. The true self is the essence of life. It is a point of life itself. It is life. Alive and conscious. Thinking, judging, deciding, perceiving the self as being very tiny. The real self is tiny, with no expansion, no stories about what happened throughout the day, no stories about others, no stories about past or future. Just a point. A tiny, tiny point. Very simple. Mind and the intellect are concentrated on the perception of this living, conscious, tiny point of life. The experiences of being radiant, being full, being like the sunshine. No awareness or desire to give or to take. Just being, just radiating, just illuminating. We experience the life of this point We experience his vision. The thoughts and the attitude of the point of life itself. It is simple, without ego, without demands or needs. The true self is independent and sufficient. There's no requests from anyone or anything. It is alive. It is life itself. A life that is continuous and does not depend on matter. Is independent of the body, independent of the materially perceived reality. It is just living, just being, just radiating. The living, conscious, tiny self has the ability to concentrate, to pay attention, being alert and active, being aware of the quality of his thoughts, aware of his life, and aware of others, aware of other true selves. Perceiving them as being equal, being alive, conscious, benevolent beings. They all are alike. They all are part of a family. They all are independent, free. Zero ego, zero arrogance, zero neediness. The company of independent, true selves. That are always alive, always conscious. Always simple. Their attitude is one of benevolence. For the point of life, benevolence is natural. Love is normal. There is no thought of rejection or dislike of anyone or anything. Everyone is perceived as being real and truthful, worthy. This living, conscious, tiny, true self experiences being liberated in life. He is happy, always happy, carefree, independent and strong, unshakable, liberated from waste thoughts, liberated from negative thoughts, negative action. This action is pure and for the well-being of all. This is a position of the true self, the point of life, the essence of life itself. From this position, the meaning of life is understood. Time, world, relationship with the divine, they all become clear. All we have to do is to come into this position. The living, conscious, tiny, true self. Seeing and perceiving himself and the world. This is a point of life. Thank you. Om Shanti.